You're totally guilty. You're guilty. You're guilty. Because you support Donald Trump. Try to murder Nancy Pelosi's husband, and he's like, it's so funny.
Cenk, you're going to have to learn how to control yourself. I know it's very difficult for you.
Nancy Pelosi's husband had an interlude with some bizarre gay lover. Trust me, that is.
How many people did you have mowed down in Iraq, Eric?
Welcome back to Rattlesnake TV, guys. In this video, we're going to watch Candace Owens swiftly and savagely dismantle an unhinged and quite frankly embarrassing Cenk Uygur. This comes in the wake of the second assassination attempt on Donald Trump in 2 months.
This was the second attempt in your life in under 2 months. What do you make of that?
Well, there's a lot of rhetoric going on. Right. A lot of people think that the Democrats, when they talk about threat to democracy and all of this, and it seems that both of these people were radical lefts.
Where a radical and very suspicious leftist decided to GoPro himself trying to kill the big mean orange man, the tyrant, as they call him.
I'm looking for revolutionaries. I'm looking for people who want to take this whole system down.
This is definitely evil against good.
So let's have a listen to Cenk's first rant.
Cenk Uygur, there's a lot going on. I mean, the news cycle right now feels slightly insane. You know, you've got Donald Trump nearly assassinated again, twice in 2 months now. You've got apparently Israel launching this extraordinary attack across the whole of Lebanon on thousands of Hezbollah terrorists and, of course, wounding and potentially killing as well civilians in the process. So there's a lot to unpack here. What do you make of it?
Okay, first of all, on Donald Trump, what do you want me to do? The guy did a coup attempt. He had fake electors, not even his own electors. You have your own slate of electors. He didn't use them because they said this is unconstitutional and illegal. You lost the election. And he said, all right, you can get in fake electors. Let's do a coup attempt here. Let's have them bum rush the Capitol. And then that'll create enough confusion that we can bring it back to the states and the Republicans will cheat for us. They even wrote it in a book. Then he said we should terminate the Constitution because he lost the election. So what do you want me to do, Piers? The guy hates democracy. He's a dictator wannabe. So, okay, should you shoot at him? Of course not. Any action that is physical like that or violent is a surrender in the intellectual field of debate and ideas. So it's a terrible idea, it's immoral, etc. But I'm not going to let up on Donald Trump for 1 second rhetorically, because he is a monster. And he tried to terminate our Constitution. He tried to steal an election. I've never seen anyone so despicable in American politics. And by the way, there's another reason why I'm angry at him, because I'm a populist. And he took populism and he perverted it to just turning into his own personal con. He's such a slimy con man. I loathe him. Everyone should vote against him. He's one of the worst people I have ever seen in politics, and I'm not going to let him terminate the Constitution or destroy this democracy.
You see, what I find extraordinary, Cenk, is you haven't even given it a beat since he nearly had his brains blown out on Sunday on a golf course, which came 2 months after...
Did he give a beat, Piers? Did he give a beat? Did he ever give a beat when he constantly talks about violence? Hey, if someone takes out somebody from with a stretcher, I'll pay the legal bills. Attack people. Oh, my political opponents, I'm going to jail them. I'm going to attack them.
Well, to be clear, well, hang on. To be clear, you're trying to equate him making a joke about maybe slapping or punching someone in a crowd who's abusing him with someone.
Can I make a joke
with
about
someone taking an AK
Trump across the face?
Well, hang on. Was somebody
Can I make that joke?
Was somebody
Can I make that joke, Piers?
Well, hang on. Somebody actually shooting him on a rally stage and then very nearly shooting him on a golf course with an AK-47. Do you not see the difference?
So, Piers, those are terrible actions. So what am I'm asking you a literal question. What do you want me to just go?
Could you give it a beat?
Okay, now Donald Trump's a good... Hold on, let me finish the question.
Cenk, on a human level...
Donald Trump's a good guy. Donald Trump loves democracy. Donald Trump... No, Donald Trump's still the same monster he was yesterday. So I hate that people are shooting at him. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. It's immoral. It's wrong.
Why would you be surprised?
I can't condemn it any stronger.
Why would you be surprised?
I'm not going to tell you that Donald Trump is a decent man
but Cenk,
when
why
he's
would
a
you
grotesque human being.
Why would you be surprised that people are taking drastic action? Unhinged people with unhinged brains who are listening to constant rhetoric from
You
people.
didn't answer the question.
Well,
What do you want me to do? You want me to politically surrender,
I'm
right?
asking you a question. Do you not consider for a moment that within 48 hours you're still saying monster, demagogue, dictator, blah,
Yes,
blah, blah, blah,
that's
blah.
because that's who he is.
Yes, but this is what is
So you want me to
affecting...
lie?
Yeah, because...
Here's, tell me this.
Because
do you
Jake,
want me to lie?
Let me finish. The shooter at the golf course, specifically in his recent social media posts, parroted Kamala Harris, saying that he was effectively an existential threat to democracy in America. You're doing the same. Does nothing make you pause?
You're insane.
Hillary Clinton's
You're
doing
insane.
the same.
Trump does it 2,000 times worse.
So
Piers,
because you think he does
so
it,
your
you
great
should do
idea
it too.
is Democrats shouldn't. Your great idea is Democrats shouldn't campaign against your beloved Donald Trump because some moron, mentally unstable guy took a shot at him. Okay, or two of them did. You know what? I can protect Donald Trump. Ban assault weapons. That'll protect Donald Trump way more than any of, say nice things about him now that some lunatic took some shots at him. Here, let me be super clear. If you're on the left, I know the right-wingers love their guns and Second Amendment remedy, and they've been riled up to do violence nonstop. But if you're on the left and you do any violence, you are not one of us. You're a stupid person who does nothing but make a worthy cause look immoral with your insanity. Never do violence. Is that clear enough?
Or maybe when they constantly hear on the airways people like you and Hillary Clinton and others constantly depicting Trump as an existential threat to democracy
guilty,
in America.
Piers, you're totally guilty. You're guilty. You're guilty. Because you support Donald Trump. And Donald Trump has done 2,000 times worse, and you know it. You won't even run it up.
Was asked a question on the campaign trail by a Politico reporter. He was asked, actually, it's a tricky little question, because the Trump campaign is running against illegal immigration, but says that it is for more legal immigration. But the Trump campaign is also running against the 300,000 Haitian migrants who were imported into the country by Biden and Harris, some of whom have been reported to be doing all sorts of weird things with animals that they should not be doing. And J.D. Vance was asked, okay, well, hold on. You say you're running against illegal immigration. You're for legal immigration. Well, those 300,000 Haitians that Biden and Harris imported, they're technically here legally. And forget about just the Haitians. There are all sorts of people who have been imported into this country and been given temporary legal status or have been given a kind of amnesty. So what are you going to do for those people?
Hi, Senator. Mia McCarthy with Politico. Question for you about the Haitian migrants in Springfield. So I know you've talked a lot about how we need to deport illegal aliens, but I wanted to ask you, the majority of the Haitians in Springfield came under TPS, so they are here legally. And I know you've expressed a lot of your issues with the TPS program and wanting to change that under a Trump-Vance administration. But I guess my question for you is, if you become the vice president under a Trump administration, what will you guys do about the migrants that are already there, since they did arrive legally? And a follow-up to that, if you plan to deport them, how would you do that legally?
Well, look, this is a media and Kamala Harris fact check that I want to clarify and clear up right now. And here's now, the media loves to say that the Haitian migrants, hundreds of thousands of them, by the way, 20,000 in Springfield, but hundreds of thousands of them all across our country, they are here legally. And what they mean is that Kamala Harris used two separate programs, mass parole and temporary protective status. She used two programs to wave a wand and to say, we're not going to deport those people here. Well, if Kamala Harris waves the wand illegally and says these people are now here legally, I'm still going to call them an illegal alien. An illegal action from Kamala Harris does not make an alien legal. That is not how this works.
This is a great, great answer. And J.D. Vance is just extremely intelligent, and he's really well read on the subject. And he's doing what a running mate should be doing. The libs were really upset when Trump picked J.D. Vance, and they tried to portray him as a big drag on the ticket and a bad choice and all the rest. I suspect one of the big reasons they were portraying J.D. that way is because he is really effective. The point of being the running mate. Your job on the campaign is to be the attack dog, is to have all your facts lined up, is to know exactly how to give that soundbite to the reporters. And he did that there. And he's making an important point about policy. People don't object to the 300,000 Haitians or 20,000 Haitians in Springfield, taking over this small town. They don't object to countless Latin American migrants pouring into the country unvetted, illegally, taking over communities, driving cars into school buses and buildings, putting a drain on government services, filling up public schools. They don't object to it because of the technical labeling of those migrants. They object to it because mass migration has, in practice, constituted an invasion of our country for decades now. And it's created a lot of social disorder, and it's put a ton of strain on our resources, and it's fractured our society because these people have largely not assimilated, and Democrats have done it cynically to give themselves a permanent electoral majority. That's why people object to it. They don't object to it because one immigrant is totally unvetted and an illegal alien, while one has temporary protective status and a kind of parole, while the other one has a green card, while the this, while the that. They object to it because you have to press 3 for English, and that's annoying. They object to it because there is increased crime in certain neighborhoods in our country. They object to it because the ducks are going missing at the public park, okay? To use the vivid example that has been much debated over the past few weeks. That's what they object. They object to the fact of it, not the words that you use to describe it. And JD's saying, we're gonna fix the problem in practice. We're gonna deal with the facts. We're not gonna be like the libs and just use mealy-mouthed euphemisms and new sorts of words to pretend that the problem doesn't exist. What the libs want to do is say, okay, we have millions and millions, maybe more than 11 or 12 million illegal aliens in this country. Well, we're just gonna call them undocumented Americans. Poof, the problem goes away. We're gonna call them dreamers. There it is. There's my magic dust, and now the problem goes away. No, you still have the social problems. You have to deal with the actual political issue, which is mass unassimilated migration into America in a short period of time that screws up the labor market, that screws up the housing market, that causes crime to increase in certain areas, that brings in all sorts of terrible elements, including the criminal cartels that control the border and the poison of fentanyl that's killing hundreds of thousands of Americans. That's the problem. JD says, we're going to fix the problem. Democrats can use their magic wand with their words. We're going to actually fix the problem. That was a great clip. Now, hold up, ring the bell, subscribe.
The story is breaking from the Daily Mail. Cops find explosives in a car near a Trump rally on Long Island. Story from the Washington Post, but we also have another story from the New York Times. The Washington Post says Middle East braces for Hezbollah response to Lebanon pager and radio attacks. The interesting thing here, that the sentiment we're seeing from the New York Times and other news outlets is that we are both simultaneously facing World War III and Civil War. I know, I'm Tim Pool, and I said the word Civil War, but I got to give it to the New York Times, because they're the ones who actually reported this. Don't look at me. Leave me out of your memes. Actually, you can meme me. It's okay. I don't know. No forced memes, though. Only if it makes sense. There's that meme where the guy has, he's holding his hand, he's looking at the butterfly, and it says, is this insert thing? And it's like, Tim Pool, is this Civil War? And it's a butterfly. But the New York Times is saying that the international community is concerned, I talked about this a little bit yesterday, that with the election coming up, there is a real fear towards the U.S. turning into a civil war. At the same time, with the explosions that have rocked Lebanon and a fear of retaliation from Hezbollah, excuse me, as well as what we're currently seeing in Russia and Ukraine, the question asked by communists over at thecommunist.red, are we facing World War III? Shout out to I don't really want to shout him out, but I absolutely wanted to use communist.red to point out the fears of World War III and Civil War are upon us. The big question, of course, has to do with Israel's radio and pager attacks. One of the most sophisticated and precision-based strikes on a country. Fact. You can disagree with it. You can say it's terrifying. You can say it's terror. Call it whatever you want. That's your opinion. You're entitled to it. But as a fact, this was the most sophisticated precision and probably the most precise strike ever carried out against a military target. Will this escalate us into a major international conflict. And should the U.S. election drive us to civil war, holy crap, what can we expect in the coming year? Well, you know what? As Alex Jones always used to say, buy your gold, people, because the end, or, you know, whatever. I don't know, because they're coming for your income tax. I mean, you buy gold, you still got to pay taxes. I'm just saying. The Washington Post reports Lebanon is reeling from 2 consecutive days of deadly explosions of electronic devices as countries across the Middle East wait anxiously for Hezbollah to announce its response. In a widely anticipated speech Thursday, Hassan Nasrallah, the leader of the Hezbollah militant group, is expected to outline how the group intends to retaliate for the attacks, which killed at least 32 and injured more than 3,000 on Tuesday and Wednesday, when pagers, and then the next day, walkie-talkies and other devices exploded simultaneously across Lebanon. Israeli authorities, who rarely discuss operations in other countries, declined to comment on whether Israel was responsible. But the sophisticated and complex operation bore the hallmarks of Israel's intelligence agency Mossad, which has a history of carrying out targeted assassinations abroad. U.S. officials have acknowledged Israel was behind the attack. 2 U.S. officials who spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss a sensitive subject said the Israelis did not inform the U.S. about the specifics before the attack took place, but told Washington afterward through intelligence channels. With anxiety swirling over whether there will be more attacks involving wireless devices, Beirut's international airport has banned passengers from carrying pagers and walkie-talkies onto any aircraft. Lebanon State News Agency reported the Lebanese army said Thursday that it was still detonating suspicious communication devices across the country. The explosions, which began on Tuesday afternoon when thousands of pagers used by Hezbollah members beeped simultaneously before erupting, sent people streaming into hospitals across Lebanon, many having lost eyes or hands or suffering serious abdominal injuries. 2 children were among those killed Tuesday, Lebanese Health Minister Firas Abiad said Wednesday. Taiwanese pager manufacturer Gold Apollo, whose logo was seen on some of the destroyed pagers, said it did not make the devices that exploded in Lebanon. The company said in a statement that the pagers in question were entirely handled by a Hungarian company called BAC Consulting, KFT. BAC did not respond to requests for comment. Hungarian government spokesman Zoltán Kovacs said the reference devices have never been in Hungary. On Wednesday afternoon, a new round of detonations involving 2-way radios and fingerprint analysis devices, according to Lebanon Civil Defense, killed at least 20 people and damaged or set fire to homes, shops, and vehicles in northern Lebanon. The eastern Bekaa province and Beirut southern suburbs, at least one of the explosions occurred at a funeral in those suburbs held by Hezbollah for people who were killed in Tuesday's blasts. Let me tell you, my friends, pagers exploded, killing people. At a funeral for one of these individuals, a radio explodes. They're saying other devices are wired too. They have no idea what's been wired to blow. The fears of World War III, I think it's real. Jerusalem Post is reporting that Israel thwarted an Iranian plot to assassinate Benjamin Netanyahu. Yoav Gallant, Ronan Bar. The Shin Bet unveiled an Iranian assassination plot targeting Netanyahu, Defense Minister Gallant, and Shin Bet Director Ronan Bar. I believe they have the man in custody. They say they plotted to assassinate them. Its efforts were particularly intense following the assassination of Hamas political chief Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran on July 31st. The plot was to use an Israeli businessman named as Moti Maman, 73 years old from Ashkelon, who spent extensive time living in Turkey and had... We've got this one from Politico.com. FBI says Iran sent hacked Trump info to Biden campaign staffers. The emails were sent in June and July to individuals associated with the Biden campaign. They say the emails sent to those of the Biden campaign contained an excerpt taken from stolen, non-public material from former President Trump's campaign. The Office of the Director of National Intelligence, the FBI, and CISA said in a statement. The Iranians have also continued trying to leak non-public Trump campaign material to media organizations since June, the agency said. The latest disclosure shed new light on the myriad tactics Iran has employed to damage the Trump campaign and how persistent it remains despite U.S. officials calling out its first attempt to leak stolen campaign documents this August. Politico first reported on the attempted hack and leak effort that month. It's unclear to what extent the then Biden campaign read or made use of the information the Iranians sent. The 3 agencies said the emails were unsolicited and campaign staff did not reply to them. Morgan Finkelstein, a spokesperson for the campaign of Vice President Kamala Harris, which replaced Biden, said in a statement Wednesday, "We have cooperated with the appropriate law enforcement authorities since we were made aware of the information being sent to the Biden campaign personnel." Whoa. This means that Kamala Harris is a stooge of the Iranians. The Iranians. I was going to say something else there. The Kamala Harris campaign is secretly, wow. Come on. When these companies try to screw with us and lie, cheat, and steal, okay, I'm not going to blame the Harris campaign for this. Let's not be silly, if you get what I'm trying to say. We're not aware of any material being sent directly to the campaign. A few individuals were targeted on their personal emails with what looked like a spam or phishing attempt. We condemn in the strongest terms any effort by foreign actors to interfere in U.S. elections, including this unwelcome and unacceptable malicious activity. Carolyn Levitt, Trump's campaign spokesperson, said the development is further proof the Iranians are actively interfering in the election to help Kamala Harris and Joe Biden because they know Trump will restore his tough sanctions and stand against their reign of terror. Kamala and Biden must come clean on whether they used the hacked material given to them by the Iranians to hurt Trump. What did they know and when did they know it? During a rally Wednesday night in New York, Trump accused Iran of foreign election interference, but said he was unsure what material the country's hackers sent to his former opponent's campaign. Iran hacked into my campaign. I don't know what the hell they found. I'd like to find out. Couldn't have been too exciting, he said. Politico first reported in August that Trump campaign was the victim of a hack and leak campaign later tied by federal authorities to the private sector companies private sector companies to Iran. After Politico was among the media groups that received stolen campaign documents. The FBI has been tracking this activity, has been in contact with the victims, and will continue to investigate and gather information in order to pursue and disrupt threat actors responsible. The agency said they stressed as well that Iran, along with Russia and China, are trying by some measure to exacerbate divisions in U.S. society for their own benefit and see election periods as moments of vulnerability. It's the BRICS nations, my friends. This is where we are currently headed in terms of how the global conflict is going to happen. The BRICS nations are up against NATO. NATO is struggling. The petrodollar is failing. And I got to be honest, I fear for the worst. But, I think the bigger concern that I have is that the play may be the play itself. Now, what do I mean by that? The information is not the play. The hacked materials is not the play. Iran can easily blast out a bunch of emails claiming they have information, starting a news story where Trump then says they're being helped by Iran. And what happens? Divisions are sown the moment you accuse your political opponents of being funded or fueled or inspired by our enemies. Sorry, that's just true. So I'm not going to blame Kamala Harris or Joe Biden or Democrats because Iran is trying to screw with us. And I think it's silly when we talk about the Russia situation that we're fanning the flames of division based off a story that claims Russia is trying to fan the flames of division. How about we just say, guys, they are tricking us, okay? Let's keep our political disputes to the American people and stop playing the game they're trying to make us play. Otherwise, I suppose we get the worst. Here we go. From the New Republic, new emails expose election officials' plot to unleash chaos, to swing things in Trump's favor. This is exactly what I'm talking about, where we're headed. Everything is a Trump secret plot. This country is divided, and I don't think it matters if foreign interference is going to be the key to is the shadow campaign. RNC files lawsuit against Montgomery County, PA for illegally issuing untested early ballots. Take a look at this guy. Commissioner Neil Makija, I officially cast the first ballot in Montgomery County and perhaps the first in Pennsylvania. Mail-in ballots are being sent out now, and you can apply for yours at montcovotes.com. Oh, boy. Hold on there a minute. They haven't tested the ballots yet. They're not ready to be released, and this guy's releasing them. The Republican National Committee has filed suit in the Common Pleas Court of Montgomery County, PA, alleging that the Montgomery County Board of Commissioners have commenced the 2024 election without completing the required testing per the election code. This testing is intended to promote election integrity, and without it, certain assurances cannot be met. The testing provides, quote, election officials an opportunity to identify and redress errors in the election definition, ballot format, and layout, including but not limited to appropriate locations for folds on absentee mail-in ballots, missing races, missing party identification, incorrectly worded ballot questions, and incorrect tabulation. The directive for pre-election testing of ballots also requires county boards to, quote, certify to the secretary when they have been completed, the testing, and to complete the certification at least 15 days prior to every election in their jurisdiction, and must submit the certification electronically to the Department of State. Pursuant to the election code in the state, all counties in Pennsylvania must conduct pre-election logic and accuracy testing prior to every election, primary, general, special, and municipal, that is conducted in their jurisdiction. This testing, per the directive, is a series of pre-election steps intended to ensure that ballot scanners, marking devices, and all components of the county's certified voting systems are properly configured in good working order prior to being used in the election. On September 13th, the defendant, Frank Dean, with the Montgomery County Board of Electors, emailed plaintiff Christian Nascimento, chair of the Montgomery County Republican Committee, saying, as you no doubt are aware, we have yet to receive a certified ballot from the Department of State. As such, we will not be starting L&A on Monday. Once we have a certified ballot, my intention is to begin L&A testing on the next business day, but in any event, I will notify you once we have the ability to proceed. The names of the candidates that would appear in the 2024 general election ballot were finalized by virtue of the decision of the Pennsylvania Supreme Court on September 16th, the lawsuit states, and were certified by the Secretary of the Commonwealth. The next day, Dean contacted Nascimento to say the testing would begin on the 19th, just 3 days later. The email is included in the suit as Exhibit 3. Dean then rescheduled the testing for September 23rd, this coming Monday, but in a dramatic and unprecedented maneuver, the lawsuit states this clip, Aero Studio Man posts from Vivek Ramaswamy, actually. And we'll just jump to, okay, so I don't know, whatever. In a move that explains exactly why, my friends, you should not vote for Kamala Harris, the IRS has endorsed her. I absolutely love this. IRS agents endorse Kamala Harris. And we have this from MCR TV. The IRS Agents Union endorses Kamala Harris, citing her Inflation Reduction Act windfall. I'd like to give a round of applause to the IRS for possibly one of the best moves in support of Donald Trump. Everybody hates the IRS. Sorry. They just do. Did you know that the IRS has armed law enforcement agents? People don't realize this because they actually have to go and enforce tax law. I'm totally fine with it. I mean, I'm not a big fan of taxes, but I recognize so long as we have taxes, you are going to need enforcement. And so they have armed IRS agents. They bought them a bunch of guns and hollow point bullets, and everybody was like, I'm kind of worried about that. So basically, here's what's happening. Why are they endorsing Kamala Harris? Well, my friends, I'm going to tell you in my words. It's because thanks to Kamala and Joe Biden, 87,000 new agents got jobs.
We got the brand new iPhone 16 in a mouse limitless case and some MacBooks. Okay,
87,000. And those 87,000 employees are probably like, I like my job. I like that I got hired. Everybody should vote for Kamala Harris. Trump's going to fire IRS agents. That's right. So they're not going to endorse him. Welcome to reality, my friends. They lied. They claimed the 87,000 agents are going to be there so they can go after the millionaires and the billionaires that are not paying their fair share. The millionaires and the billionaires, they say. Yeah, well, I got to tell you this. There's very few of them, and you don't need 87,000 employees to go after a tiny handful of ultra-wealthy individuals who, by the way, have the means to fight back through lawyers. The 87,000 agents are for you, America. I'll tell you what's going to happen next year. For some of you, it already happened. I know because you've messaged me. You went to the mailbox. You're going through your mail. You got some bills. You're living paycheck to paycheck. Milk is expensive. Bread and eggs are expensive. You're trying to make ends meet. I've seen the videos. There's a dad saying, I can't afford to feed my daughters. What am I supposed to do? The costs are too high. And as you're going through these bills, what do you see? IRS sends you a letter. And you open it up, and there it is. And it says that you owe $223. And you say to yourself, what do I owe the IRS $223 for? This is ridiculous. Now, there are services. They've sponsored the show in the past. They say any amount they come after you for, call them. They will help you. But for the average person, And you probably should do everything you can and look at it as best you can. But you might get a bill for $75. And you're like, what's it worth? Most people are just going to pay it. They're just going to pay it. That's the point of 87,000 new agents, because they're coming for you, middle America. They're coming for you, working class Joes. I already have people messaging me saying they got a bill for $1,000 or something like that, and they have no idea how to pay it. Well, here we go. The union that represents the nation's IRS agents announced Wednesday it is endorsing Kamala Harris. Vice President Harris has played a role in one of the most pro-labor administrations in history, they say. It's the National Treasury Employees Union. The administration also delivered agency budgets that provide federal employees with additional staffing and resources, including significant new investments to rebuild the IRS under the Inflation Reduction Act. Harris, they say, however, the IRS expansion won't just increase union membership. It'll also help the agency to collect an additional $5 trillion of tax increases Harris wants. Analysis by Americans for Tax Reform finds. Harris's proposed tax increase will kill jobs in the private sector, but create jobs for IRS agents. Agents certainly appreciate her call to make the IRS even larger and more powerful if she wins the presidency. Agents will be hired and deployed to implement the $5 trillion of tax increases Harris wishes to impose over the next decade. And, they'll lie to you. They're saying, no, there will be no new taxes on anybody who's earning less than $400,000. Trump's just saying this because he wants to give his millionaire buddies tax cuts. They're not going to raise your taxes. What they're going to do is they're going to say, you forgot to pay a tax you already owed. They're going to say, no, we didn't change the tax law. We just realized that you missed us. How do I know? They want reporting on all transactions over $600 so they can nickel and dime you. What do we have here? Someone just threw in a chat, and it disappeared on me, but I thought it was particularly relevant. Someone said, I made $78,000 a year, and the IRS sent me a letter yesterday for $3,000. I'm telling you, people need to understand this. Here's another user. I got a $700 bill out of nowhere. I just paid it. No idea what it was for. This is exactly what I am telling you. This is what I warned about when they started pushing this stuff. The goal is going to be to nickel and dime you. And so when they say no new taxes, what they're really saying is we don't need to modify tax code. We need only interpret the existing code. Now, imagine this. You file your taxes. You do everything right. You go to H&R Block or something, or what's the other one? I forgot the other one. H&R Block, that's the big one. Then they're TurboTax, they do this, right? And you're just like, I don't know, I filed my taxes. I made $80K this year. It says, here's how much you owe in state and federal. And you're going, oh, my refund is going to be so low. Not to mention the idea of a refund is crazy. They took extra money from you and then give it back to you and you're happy about it. It was yours to begin with. I know people who at the end of the year paid their taxes. Actually, this happened to me. I got a job. I paid my taxes. I asked them, like, how do I fill this out? They said, do this. I went to H&R Block. I filled it all out. And then they went, you owe $7,000. And I was like, what? I was like, I paid all my taxes the entire time. And they're like, yep. Too bad. And I'm like, I don't have it. And they're like, oh, that's fine. You've got several months to pay it. So just save up now from every paycheck. And to be fair, like, I was making well enough. So it took me a couple months to pay off the entire $7,000, basically setting aside my paycheck to pay off taxes I didn't realize I owed, which is nuts. Because I went to when I filled out all the forms, I did them exactly as I was told. And then they said, oh, well, you know what? I don't know. Rule changes. You owe more money now. And I'm like, I don't even know why. What am I supposed to do? And so a combination of savings and setting aside paychecks to try and pay this off, and it hurt. I'm like, there goes my savings. But you know what? What are you going to do? I can't go up against that machine. Who can? Now, I got to tell you this, my friends. You got to ask yourself why it is the IRS of all agencies is supporting Kamala Harris. It's because she is the party, my friends, of the federal bureaucratic state. So everything that is bad and bloated in government will be made worse under President Kamala Harris. Now, I want to point this out for you, my friends. I am not an overt partisan individual, despite the fact I'm saying Kamala bad, Trump good. Of course, on the surface, you might say that's overtly partisan. No, I'm just trying to understand the truth. And I can tell you the truth right now. I can tell you all about it. Donald Trump guarantees you no utopia. Donald Trump has character flaws and defects. Donald Trump has lied about many things, but usually they're about his personal endeavors and they're silly. Although I will say in the past several years, Trump seems to have chilled out on this quite a bit. I'll give you an example, because a lot of people say, what did Trump lie about? Okay, so when Kamala Harris said, people leaving his rallies, he goes, nobody leaves my rallies. Nobody's like, dude, come on, people leave your rallies. And so it's like, it's not a lie in the sense that he's claiming he's worth more than he is. It's not a lie in the sense that he's claiming he'll build a wall, but then he won't. It's a lie in the sense where he's defending his ego. And he's big for that. I think Trump is very much motivated by ego, but I think he's also just trying to do good. And I believe that he wants to do right by people. He wants to keep his promises. I think he's far from a perfect individual. But I think no new wars was good for this country. I think securing our borders is good for this country. I think all of these things can be looked at mathematically. And what do you get? I got to tell you, you give me Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump 2016, I ain't voting. You give me Mitt Romney, Barack Obama, I ain't voting. You give me Barack Obama, McCain, I voted Obama. Why? Because I was tricked and I was lied to as a young man, and I believed this was something different. And then Obama killed American citizens, did everything the same, and I said, oh, yeah, they're all liars.
Why are we expecting?
Here's how these high-tech shoes are helping to relieve lower back pain, knee pain, and even improve your
back pain. What's the real cause? Is it poor posture, lifting heavy objects, or
jokes? That's what they did. That's what they did. Oprah and Kamala just go back and forth, rich people jokes. She's like, what did she say? We want to help people out with about 5,000, to help for small business owners. We know it's not a lot, but we want to help people. And then Oprah chimed in, rich people jokes, dude. Oprah chimed in and it's like, $5,000 ain't anything. That's little business. That's little business. It's like, wow. And the couple's just on the screen the whole time. She doesn't give a single answer for how she's going to help them financially. Oh, dude, that was my favorite one. That was my favorite one. They're like suffering. They're living off of $435 a month, and she can't give a single answer as to how she's going to help them. Okay. Okay, man. Okay. We're going to continue with our coverage. So if you're just tuning in, subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, hit that bell notification. Copy the link, share it everywhere. We're going to get into the big news right now, so don't go anywhere. Do not go anywhere. I want to start with this as we continue our coverage tonight. Let me make sure I have all of my clips good to go. All right, Trump. Let's talk some Trump real quick. On the other side of things, which is President Trump. But we do have some updates. We had an update last night, in case you missed it. Last night, Senator Josh Hawley, in terms of I like to call the third assassination attempt on President Trump. First one, Butler. Second, Cochise County, Arizona. And now this third one in West Palm Beach of Florida. Turns out last night, Senator Josh Hawley, whistleblowers leaked to him and communicated to him that the Secret Service has a very specific, detailed program. And there are points of security around Trump's golf course in West Palm Beach. But on this day, they were not secured. So there was an intentional neglect. Because this wasn't an off-the-cuff thing where they've never done it before. There is a protocol. There is a specific blueprint of security for the Secret Service detail assigned to Trump when he is golfing at that course, and it was not followed that day. Yeah, it just gets better, doesn't it? It just gets better, right? It gets better. It gets better. Trump decided to golf last minute on a Sunday. And Ryan Ralph is camped outside of the gate on the golf course 12 hours the night before Trump decides to go golfing. I really wonder if someone presented Trump the idea to go golfing that morning. Right? I really do. And so now it gets even better. According to Josh Hawley, apparently the Secret Service has a very detailed plan and a blueprint for when Trump, that man, is golfing on that course, including specific points around that perimeter to secure. And they weren't secured. Acting Secret Service Director Ronald Rowe made it very clear that they did not sweep the perimeter. There are stand-down orders being given. There are boxes not being checked for a reason, just like Butler, Pennsylvania. It's called compartmentalization. It's not that hard to do. It's really easy to do. It's how the government functions. It's how the military functions. This is how they do things. And it's not hard to set up an inside job assassination attempt within the Secret Service and the feds, DHS, all the way to the top, with only those that are in the know, just a handful, issuing orders from the top down, chain of command. It's top down, does not go up. You take your orders, you fulfill them, and don't ask any questions. That's what's happening. That's how Trump's going to get killed. Inside job, compartmentalized assassination plot, whether it happens via a firearm or a bomb or a poisoning. And last night we covered the breaking news in case you missed that as well. It went super viral last night. I'm just giving you guys an update before we get into the breaking news of today. That apparently in Tucson, Arizona, like 5 days after Trump's rally, like 20 people sitting stage right behind Trump all of a sudden are like blinded and their eyes are like on fire. And they thought it might go away, but they had to go check themselves in the hospital. Some kind of substance. They don't even know. It's being investigated. Could have came from the ceiling. Who knows? Was that another assassination attempt on President Trump? Probably, maybe, most likely. Chemical burns, an obvious chemical attack. They're not going to stop. They can't stop. It's why they're doubling down on their rhetoric. Hillary Clinton, MSNBC, CNN. The first time around, they tried to give an appearance like, oh, we care, let's tone down the rhetoric. The second time around, you got Hillary Clinton all up and down the news saying, why is the media not doing a more consistent, more aggressive job to paint the picture of how a serious threat Donald Trump is? Why are they stopping? They want him dead, and they will stop at nothing. They can't stop. It's a death cult that will not let up because they have an interest, and that interest is financial, that interest is power, and that interest is World War III, and that interest is keeping the status quo because they've had it for the past 4 years. That's why they're trying to act like Trump has literally been the president for the past 4 years. And they're projecting and deflecting, acting like that's been the reality, as if the past 4 years of total destruction is because of Trump. When Kamala Harris has been in the White House, right? It's not just because they're hypocrites. I've been saying this for years. People really got to start understanding this is intentional. It's an FU. It's a gaslight. It's a deflection. So when the time comes and they start rolling out their operations, it all falls into place and nobody questions it. But you and I are always going to question it because, at least I can speak for myself. I question everything. And if you're a viewer of Drew Hernandez Live, I know you do too. I know you do too. I trust nobody but God, right? Honestly. The only people I trust is the Lord Jesus Christ, myself, my wife, and my mother. That's it. Those are the only people I trust. That's it. Those are the only people I trust. I don't care. Be offended. I don't give a damn. Those are the only people I trust. God, myself, my wife, and my mother. That's it. That's it, man. But No, dude, this is it. This is the real deal. And I predict at least another assassination attempt in the month of October. They might try it quicker, but they're probably going to try to re-strategize and make sure they get this right the final time. And the next one, they're probably going to stop trying to activate shooters. They're probably going to try to, telling you, man, a bombing would take, I'm not calling for this. I'm just saying, man, if they could bomb Trump's plane, rig the plane, it would be easy to do within the Secret Service. Take care of it immediately. Done. But you wouldn't have any error, right? You wouldn't have any error. On his way somewhere, just take him out. Take him out. I'm not calling for that. I don't want to see that. I'm just saying that's probably the next step. That's probably the next step. Some kind of, yeah, like a drone or something, because, like, look how close this is. There's a mole within Trump's camp. Obviously, a mole within Trump's Secret Service detail. In his friend circle. And they're going to get him killed. That's the agenda. That's the idea. And so I'm praying for President Trump. But at the same time, I think he needs to be a little more vigilant, honestly. This man should just be in survival mode, play it safe until Election Day. Because they are this close, dude. They are this close. Literally this close. This close. And yeah, God's protection will be on you, but you start getting arrogant and reckless. Thou shalt not tempt the Lord your God. Thou shalt not tempt the Lord your God. That's all I'm going to say. You can't get reckless. You cannot get reckless. You can't be walking around thinking you're invincible, dude. You can't. It's arrogant. It's arrogant. God gives you wisdom as well. That's why the Bible is very clear. Peaceful as doves and wise as serpents, right? You got to have that balance. You got to have that balance. But okay, all right, so those are some of the updates leading to today. We got a lot of news we're going to cover tonight, so sit back, relax, subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, hit that bell notification, copy the link, please. Share it absolutely everywhere. Let's begin. Huge. This is Infowars.com. Representative Matt Gaetz says DHS is aware of 5 assassination teams currently inside the United States seeking to kill Donald Trump. Let me repeat that, okay? You heard that or you read that right. Representative Matt Gaetz says DHS is aware of 5 assassination teams currently inside the United States seeking to kill Donald Trump. And what are they doing about it? The assassination teams are probably them. Actually, I'd be willing to say it is them. It's the feds, inside jobs. They're not going to stop. Just like they tried over and over and over with JFK. They failed multiple times before they were successful. The deep state failed multiple times. There were multiple a lot of people don't know this because that part of history has been hidden from a lot of people. There were at least 3 or 4 well-known assassination attempts on JFK before they finally blew his brains out on live television in front of the entire world. Right? And it's going to be the same thing with Trump. It already is. And to think otherwise, you're just retarded, honestly, and you're naive. Retarded, naive, or just full-blown in denial. Full-blown in denial. And so now this just increased the threat level. Like Trump's already at like a 9 and a 10. This just took it to a 50. This just took it to a 50. Speaking with Real America's Voice on Thursday, GOP Congressman Matt Gaetz broke the news that a DHS source told him last week that there are currently 5 known assassination squads, kill squads, on United States soil with the goal of murdering Donald Trump. With the goal of murdering Donald Trump. Let's actually just take a look and listen to this full report from Matt Gaetz. I'll make sure I got the right video. Is this it? Hold on. Let's go over here. I want to look at the... This one's longer. Here we go. Found it. Found it. Found it. Pulling it up. Sorry, guys. I'm retarded.
For you, I had a senior official from the Department of Homeland Security in my office before the second assassination attempt saying that what he has assessed is that there are 5 known assassination teams in the United States, 3 inspired by other governments, 2 that are here that are known domestic assassination teams. And with that, this individual was coming to me concerned that the force protection around President Trump, even prior to that second assassination attempt, was not sufficient for what it needed to be. And the coordination at that level, at the dignitary protection level, is like the bare minimum that we have to do to keep our presidents, our presidential candidates safe while they're on the trail.
So there are 5, I just want to follow up, 5 assassination teams. Are they all targeting Trump? Is it other officials?
Yes. No, wow. I should have been clear about that. 5 teams that we know are targeting Trump. And so that raises real questions about why certain teams were being pulled off of the Trump detail and put on, for example, the Jill Biden detail. Now, we don't want anything bad to happen to Jill Biden, but at the same time, the threat envelope for her was substantially different than the threat envelope around President Trump, and it would not have necessitated pulling assets away from the Trump detail for the Jill Biden detail or the
This is so crazy. 5 assassination kill squads. But what is did you guys see the news? Because Elon Musk, what did Elon Musk tweet? And nobody's trying to assassinate Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. He kind of made a sarcastic statement because the whole world is trying to kill Trump. I think Elon deleted it, actually. And then everyone started accusing him, saying, oh, you're being irresponsible. You're calling for the assassination of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And now he's being investigated by the feds. But we got 5 kill squads in the United States trying to kill Trump. But what are we focused on? The J6ers. And Elon Musk tweeting a joke.
John Bolton detail or any other details that were beefed up. At the same time, the requests from the Trump detail and from the Trump campaign for more security were going unanswered.
Wow. Holy mackerel.
Congressman, I know that you and...
Let me back that up. I kind of distracted him. Or I interrupted him. Go back.
Details that were beefed up. At the same time, the requests from the Trump detail and from the Trump campaign for more security were going unanswered.
Wow. Holy mackerel.
Congressman, I know that you and a number of other problem-solving type members of Congress have probably thought and had conversations about what could be done to at least supplement Secret Service to protect President Trump. What would be your recommendation to the Trump campaign?
They can't be trusted.
President Trump is the last person worried about this, to be honest. I mean, he's worried about his message. He's worried about the safety of the people there. And I think he himself does not reflect on his personal security. And that's why those around him need to. I think that there are ways to augment.
That's what I don't understand. So Trump just doesn't care? Like, I don't get that. I don't get this. Trump just doesn't care? Like, sir, you're our guy. Sir, you're our guy, and if they take you out, we can kiss America goodbye. Can you Sir.
there. And I think he himself does not reflect on his personal security, and that's why those around him need to. I think that there are ways to augment some extended perimeters with some private security. I've heard Eric Prince, a very smart guy, opine as to what it could take to ensure that folks aren't able to just set up and get this close. I mean, you think about what happened in the second assassination attempt. Someone was able to park outside and plan and prepare and lie in wait for the former president. That should never happen, and it might need some sort of private augmentation to ensure that we keep President Trump safe.
Yeah, good point. Congressman, we got about a minute and a half left. 5 assassination teams. Was this Homeland Security official coming to you as a whistleblower? Was he coming to you in official capacity? And was the Secret Service aware of these assassin teams before July 12th or before this past Sunday? They were. Yes.
So the person was informing me of this information because the Secret Service was aware of the threat profile around President Trump. And again, this was before the second assassination attempt.
Inside job. This is inside, all of it. I mean, we know this, but wow, I didn't hear this part. Did you guys hear that? Look what Matt Gaetz just confirmed. What a great question. What a good question.
Half left. 5 assassination teams. Was this Homeland Security official coming to you as a whistleblower? Was he coming to you in official capacity? And was the Secret Service aware of these assassin teams before July 12th or before this past Sunday? They were.
Yes. So the person was informing me of this information because the Secret Service was aware of the threat profile around President Trump. And again, this was before the second assassination attempt. And the person was coming to me in part to ensure that if they revealed this information, if investigations and reviews brought this to light, that it would be able to be scrutinized and assessed without this person being fired or rat-holed or sent into the closet somewhere. As you and I know, some folks who are the truth tellers tend to find themselves. So our office likes to be, a place of respite for those who can come and say, look, here's what's actually happening. And then we try to get that information before the public in the most responsible way possible. And I think the public should know that the Secret Service was aware of 5 assassination teams at the time. They were taking protective assets away from President Trump and redeploying them to other people with less of a risk profile around them.
That is just unbelievable. Congressman, you do such great oversight work. I remember all the great work you did during Russia collusion to unravel that fake scandal. This is a bombshell. We can't thank you enough for bringing this to light. This is very important information. Great to have you on the show.
It absolutely is. And listen, guys, I love Trump. I do. I really do. And I hope he's taking this as serious as I feel, because, like, sir, this is wartime. We need you alive, sir. We need you alive. But I do understand, too, there have been great war generals that have gone down in history that are on the front lines and they go down with their men. I get that, too. I get that, too. I get that, too. But it's like, sir, we need you. We need you. We're this close. Now it's confirmed. Everything's starting to make sense. Everything that comes out via whistleblower, it just reaffirms that this so-called conspiracy is actually true. That there's multiple inside jobs to take out President Trump. I don't believe Joe Biden's behind it. I don't believe Kamala Harris is behind it. They're just puppets and retards. This is military-industrial complex. This is rogue intelligence agencies. And Matt confirmed there were what? Allegedly 3 foreign ones and 2 domestic. Is that what he said? Is that what he said? Where did he say it? 3 inspired by other governments. Right here. 3 inspired by other governments. And 2 that are known domestic assassination teams. This is the strangest thing, dude. Okay, so apparently 3 foreign and apparently 2 domestic. Right? Apparently 3 foreign and 2 domestic. And it's very clear right now. Sorry, I don't want to do Matt Gaetz like that. Let me get a better still frame for him. There we go. That's better. So they can't stop and they won't stop. And here's why. the financial interest and the secured power interest. And I was talking a little bit about this yesterday before Trump's New York rally started. And I just forgot and I didn't get to finish what I was saying, but I'm going to say it now because it perfectly connects with what we are all seeing happening in real time. This is not a movie. This is not a television show. This is reality. And if you study history and you take a look at assassination attempts, they keep coming and they keep coming and they keep coming and they keep coming. Trump is outnumbered here. His Secret Service detail is compromised. And I hate to think this, but I think maybe his campaign might be compromised. I mean, it's just, you can't trust anybody right now. And I say these things because I love Trump and I want the man to be safe. It breaks my heart when I got to cover some of this stuff, dude. You know what I mean? It sucks. This is not how I wanted to see things end, with this man dead. And then all of his enemies will celebrate. You're going to see a huge, ugly manifestation if they kill Trump. That's what you're going to see. That's what you're going to see. So according to this report, let's just, before I get into the reasonings as to why I think this is such a serious issue that is developing and it's snowballing more and more and more every single day, in their desperation, it makes them dangerous, and they are desperate. They have nothing. Kamala just blew it again tonight. Kamala Harris exposed Kamala Harris. Well, now with this piece of information, 5 assassination kill teams, all gunning for Trump. All hunting and plotting and conspiring to find Trump and take him out. And Matt Gaetz confirmed as well that the Secret Service was aware that these kill teams are active, whether 3 foreign or 2 domestic. Even if it's just 1 domestic, that's a problem. So you mean to tell me post January 6th, they can go after over 1,000 J6ers like that, ping their phones, find their locations, kicking down their doors at 6 in the morning, and then they pride themselves, the FBI, this is the greatest FBI investigation we've ever had. Ever. We're using technology, we're using investigative will and power. And we have our prosecutors securing convictions and getting the job done. So you mean to tell me that they can do all of that? They can coordinate all of that, but we have 5? We have 5 kill teams? We have 5 Trump hunting teams in the United States of America, and nothing's being done about this? They can't be caught? They can't be found? These are rhetorical questions. I know the answers to these because it's all them. It's all them. So that's why this is snowballing. That's why nothing's being done. And that's why I said immediately after J13, what did I tell you guys? That FBI director, Christopher Wray, deployed within an hour. Oh, he's there to cover it up. Same thing happened in West Palm Beach. Who got deployed within an hour immediately? Acting Secret Service Director Ronald Rowe. Oh, got to cover that one up because they keep failing. They keep failing. This last one was even worse because he's a CIA Ukrainian operative and asset, just out in the open. Not even trying to hide it. They kind of tried to hide it. But I think the Secret Service agent that saw his barrel sticking out of the bush, I don't think that was supposed to happen. I don't think that was supposed to happen at all. And the guy thought he was going to get away. Did you guys see the mugshot? He's smiling. He's just like, yeah, this guy knows. This guy knows. But now with this information, it causes even more. It causes even more light to shine on what's happening with President Trump. Because the Secret Service has been fully aware, according to Matt Gaetz, the Secret Service has been fully aware that there are kill squads, multiple, not just 1, not just 2, 5 kill squads conspiring to assassinate President Trump in this country. And nothing can be done about it, right? But this brings me back to my point. There is foreign interest to kill Trump. there is domestic interest to kill Trump. Intelligence agencies, FBI, CIA, foreign powers, you got Ukraine, and to some extent, you probably got the Mossad. I'm telling you. Benjamin Netanyahu does not want the war to end. He wants a war with Iran. He wants it. He needs the distraction. He needs to carry this thing out. Because the Israeli government wants to hold Benjamin Netanyahu to accountability, and they want to throw him in prison. So the best thing he has right now is to carry out and draw out a war even longer. Trump is coming out and vowing to put a stop to World War III in Europe and the Middle East simultaneously. And these global foreign powers don't want that. They don't want that. They don't want it at all. They want that war between Ukraine and Russia. This is why NATO has been working so hard for decades to push Vladimir Putin over the edge. And they finally did under Biden and Kamala Harris. They are continuing to push us into another world war. Biden's even said it out in the open. The words have come out of his mouth that the situation in Ukraine and Russia will lead to World War III. So it's not a conspiracy theory to say that. Yes, Trump says it, but at the same time, Joe Biden knows it as well because that's what they want. You will have annihilation, war, and devastation. If they install Kamala Harris for the next 4 to 8 years, yes, the economy is a problem. Yes, the open border is a problem. Yes, crime skyrocketing is a problem. Yes, these are problems all under the Biden-Harris regime that we've all been experiencing, the surveillance state, all of it. But I will tell you one thing. We will end up in World War III. Possible nuclear exchange. Biden has talked about it. Biden is for it. Biden is ready. And that's not just him. His administration, his regime, the military-industrial complex, they want it. They want the smoke because it's in their own personal interest to do so. Because a war machine increases revenue. It gives them the ability to tax the people even harder. We need to drop more taxes. We got a war to win. We got a war to win. They drain our bank accounts, plunge us into further debt, and at the same time, they can bring in an even further police state and martial law. Because if they announce that the entire nation isn't safe because of a nuclear threat from Russia coast to coast, we all need to lock down, sacrifice your freedoms for the security, lock down, stay in place, don't go anywhere. The government will give you rations whenever we feel like it. You know, we end up in that scenario. Jeez. You know what I mean? The bioweapons are bad. Another especially in Europe, will affect the United States of America. We're already sucked into this. Vladimir Putin has already made himself very clear that the Biden administration is green-lighting Ukraine.
Yo, dog,
okay,
how was
you
the
are
cheesecake?
weapons-free to use long-range missiles and weaponry that has been provided to you by Western civilization
bitch.
to hit
Took so
deep
goddamn long to
inside
get on
of
Skype.
Russia. Russia came out. Military advisors to the UN and Vladimir Putin both came out and said, if that happens, we will take that as an act of escalated war. You're going to have World War III. That's what you're going to have. Essentially, that's what he's saying. We will take it as an act of war coming from NATO, the United Nations, and obviously Ukraine and the United States because you gave them those weapons. And he said they will have Space Force satellite capabilities to be able to target specific locations within Russia. And he said that can only come from the United Nations or the EU. NATO.
Oh shit, dog! Is World War III gonna happen?
What does that mean? World War III. So when you hear Trump come out and say, "I will stop World War III. We need to stop World War III." Like this is I haven't really been thinking about it a lot lately. I mean, you should be concerned with all of the issues. Like I said, replacement migration, open border massacre, free fall economy, great reset, the tyranny in the police state increasing. We just experienced full lockdowns, vaccine mandates, 2020, 2021, right? Rise in crime, all of that. Big issues. This World War III issue. This is
Yes.
like we're talking about civilizations expiring within seconds, you know? We're talking about famines that will last for decades because of the fallout. I think people, not you guys, but when it comes to these warmongers and these neocons and these psycho-military industrial complex warlords, they speak of nuclear war like it's something that is just casual. Like it's a kinetic exchange like we've had for the past thousands of years. There will be a consequence. There will be a severe consequence. But that's what's at stake in this election. For me personally, I'll speak for myself. These are the top 3 issues for me. The open border, that was the top issue for me in 2016. That is why I voted for Trump in 2016. Hillary Clinton was giving off-the-record speeches to big donors, billionaire bankers, promising to open the borders, bring in a new workforce for cheaper labor. It all came out in the WikiLeaks. I'm like, oh, hell no. Hell no. No, that's it. I'm Trump. Once I heard that, I'm like, I'm Trump. I'm decided. I was an undecided
Buy a
voter.
better fucking keyboard, you piece of shit.
And for a while in 2016. Because I
Your
really
sister
wanted
did
to
it.
see what Trump was all about. But the open border really got it. That really got me. And to me,
For some reason,
fast forward to 2024, the top issue for me, open border. I mean, it's hard to say, man. Open border, obviously, this destructive economy where nobody can survive. And she's proposing Soviet-style price controls. Yeah, no, dude, we can't go down this path. Okay, this is death and destruction. And I will say,
at least she paid off your
imminent
ticket or whatever.
reality of World War III that's coming because of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. The neocons and the warmongers that all call for it and want it. For me as a voter, those are the top 3 issues. For me. Other people might have different top 3. That's fine. But I've been thinking about this a lot more because there's no going back from that, man. There really is anti-war. That's where I'm at. I don't want America to be involved in a war in Europe. I don't want America to be involved in a war in the Middle East. I'm tired of my taxpayer money going to Ukraine. I'm tired of my taxpayer money going to Israel. I'm tired of my taxpayer money going to Gaza. I'm tired of my taxpayer money going to Iran. I'm tired of my taxpayer money going to Palestine. I'm tired of it. I don't want to fund war anymore. We're gonna fund our own destruction. Literally. We will fund our own destruction of ourselves and our kids. And dude, I've been thinking about this a lot these past maybe few days, these past couple weeks. And obviously, you know, you got the threat to the Second Amendment, the threat to the First Amendment, but it's just this threat of World War III and a nuclear holocaust, man. That's at the top for me. That's at the top for me. And don't get it twisted. I'm a Christian. I'm ready to die. Like right now, I'm ready. I would rather be with Jesus right now completely. But as I still remain, I fight for what is righteous and true, right? And so when I see these developments of deeper powers leading us to destruction, those are the fingerprints of the devil. Because the enemy comes to steal, kill, destroy. Steal, kill, destroy. And that's exactly where the death cult is currently taking us right now. Into a full-blown nuclear...
I think it's funny, dude. First, I thought you were joking, but I guess...
Laufen Sie mal rüber.
Huh? What?
World War III scenario. So when I hear Trump say that, I'm like, yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm voting for the guy that wants to put an end to the war in Ukraine and Russia, because that is
So where's the other 40 million? Is it still up for grabs?
Kamala, we will be in World War III nuclear exchanges within probably 6 months of her installation with a President Kamala Harris. And a tampon Tim Walz. Guaranteed.
Oh.
Guaranteed. We will. We'll end up there. Guys, they already have CCP spy drones flying in our airspace like it's nothing, and they knew about it. Okay? This is how compromised we are, all right? When it comes to national security, when it comes to our state secrets as a nation, okay, when it comes to our ability to secure the United States of America on a military level as well. Like I said, I'm not a warmonger. I don't want war, but at the same time, every nation needs a strong military. We have a weak military right now, and that's not a disrespect to the military. Look what they're doing. They're gutting it financially, and at the same time, they're trying to make it all gay and woke and black supremacist. That's it. They're trying to raise the next generation of the military to be more concerned about your gender pronouns than who you're actually fighting against or who your actual enemies are.
Probably a better one than us.
As an American, right? And so for that reason, Trump has my vote. For that reason, Trump has my vote. 100%. And they're trying to kill him. But that's why they're trying to kill him. Because this show must go on.
I hate that.
And killing Trump is not only about killing Trump. Because mark my words, it's not going to stop there. Killing Trump, and listen, I'm not calling for this. I'm using very, very, very graphically open language. Killing Trump is not about just putting an end to Donald Trump. That will be accompanied by a full-scale sweep against MAGA.
I said, what are you going to do?
Trump supporters, those that identify with MAGA, For those that are not Rhino Republicans, those that are just America First, the full sweep will take place in the media. The sweep will take place in the culture, education, in politics. This full sweep will take place everywhere. Everyday Americans. There's a reason why the FBI has been compiling a list of everyone that buys anything with the word MAGA in it the past few years. Or Donald Trump. There's a reason why they've been propping us up officially. Official intelligence agency terminology. By the books, legally. There's a reason. MAGA Republicans, right-wing domestic terrorists. There's a reason for that. It's not just because it sounds scary in the media, part of it, but because the sweep is coming. You strike the shepherd and you scatter the sheep. Right? Same concept. They take out Trump. They go after all the supporters. That's coming. Don't think that's not coming, because it is coming, dude. One, they need war. They want this world war. They have many interests. Trump has been calling to put an end to it. In Europe and in the Middle East. And I think these foreign powers don't want that. Especially, I mean, Ukraine doesn't do anything to itself, right? It's NATO. Right? It's NATO, it's these globalist psychopaths. And then Israel, I don't trust Israel as well. I don't think Benjamin Netanyahu wants this conflict to stop. Wants it to keep going and going and going and going and going and going. Serves as a distraction so he doesn't have to, right? Face any jail time in Israel. Wartime leader. And I don't think that these foreign powers want these wars to stop. And obviously our own government doesn't want it to stop because it's cash flow as well. Ukrainian cash flow, billions of dollars, they don't want that to stop. Cash flow to Israel, they don't want that to stop. We're talking about tens of billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars, billions, they don't want that to stop. And if Trump is calling to put an end to war, well, then that means the dollars stop flowing. Less money, and that can't happen. Trump is bad for business, not just for China and the tariffs. Trump is bad for business.
Well, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. Welcome to the second channel. And welcome to Toronto. Welcome to Canada. Welcome to the sixth.
Trump is bad for business. And they will have to put a stop to that.
Lamborghini Crusader. Oh, no, wait. Look at.
And the only way they could put a stop to that.
They're running out, man. Oh, get him before it's too late. Sophia.
Because it's about sending a message as well. It's about sending a message to whoever dares pick up the baton and carry this thing on after Donald Trump. It's more than Trump, because you might say to yourself, well, why do they have to take it that far? Can't they just like rig the election and he's going to be 80, he's not going to run again, and that's the end of it, right? He's just going to live his life and, golf for the rest of his life until he dies. Do some campaign rallies for his endorsements in American Republican politics, and that's pretty much it, right? Makes sense, right? But that's not how these people think, because this is beyond Trump. This is why Trump has always been. What has Trump always said? They're persecuting me because they're trying to get to you. On top of the cartels. International, we're talking about billions of dollars.
It's never going to be the same in this house.
Human trafficking operations that are very lucrative in the United States, outside of the United States. There's a lot of people that are making a lot of money off of war. The open border and human trafficking. There's a lot of money.
No, they're gonna be
being
home
made
soon.
because
Give a fuck, man. So fucking tired of hearing bullshit.
or Joe Biden are
Bro, she's
enabling
probably gonna be first
these
in line.
operations to
Get the fucking
fulfill.
house. The way fucking things are
Gonna take
going right now,
place.
so.
And then you get Trump coming out at his rally saying what? I'm going to close the border. The cartel hears.
It's just like,
so
what the fuck?
that means no more money. You hear Trump come out and say, I will put a stop to the Ukraine and Russian war. What does that mean? By the neocons and the warmongers? Oh, no more funneling tens of billions of dollars through Ukraine. You hear Trump come out and say, I will put an end
It's funny,
to the
like, I
conflict
want to
between
fucking leave,
Israel
but
and
I
Palestine
literally
and
can't afford
Gaza.
it.
We don't need this
So-
anymore.
So, like, it's just like I'm in a prison, basically.
Here. So we're not going to get tens of billions of dollars military aid packages any longer. I mean, they're always going to shill for Israel
Oh, well.
and billions of dollars.
There are other ways to leave.
Bonuses, those are going to stop now. Oh, we can't have that. We can't have any of that. So the resulting to having to take these drastic measures of killing Trump because he's the one that is calling for this stuff. And when I hear him say it, I'm like, damn.
Damn, that's a big ass
They're
cannon,
gonna try to
dog.
kill this guy. You don't come out and say stuff like that, dude. And that's why I criticize Trump a lot because I love the man. You guys can tell I've said some crazy stuff. That's because I love the man. But at the same time, I respect him because it's not easy to get out there and say you're gonna end all these wars when you know there will be a consequence. People will try to kill you if you try that.
They got the Gustav gun in this game.
What am I saying? What I'm saying is, when you take a closer look at this, they have to make a public example out of Trump by assassinating and killing him. Because it sends a message to everyone around the world, not just America, but nations around the world. You don't do this. You don't oppose us. You don't disrupt our dealings and our businesses and plans. You don't rile up tens of millions of people to think that they could operate in freedom outside.
GA in West Palm Beach, Florida. This is the area where that gunman hung out and hid out for 12 hours. And you can see the brush that hides you a little bit from viewing the street behind you. But that's the golf course that you're looking at. 5th and 6th hole where he was lying in wait for Donald Trump on Sunday. A fascinating look here. We've seen some paparazzi in past years. See some maintenance workers come by. By the way, the course is closed. A lot of these courses in Florida will close for the summer because it's too hot. You can't grow the grass, and the course gets all beat up.
Look at that.
Trump's course is no different. But he, apparently, according to people that I've spoken to, went to the club that day. And I don't believe it was on his schedule, and I believe it was unannounced. And grabbed a buddy of his and said, why don't we go out and have a match together? And so they went out. I believe they might have been some of the only golfers on the course that day. And this is the scene. And
jeez, dude, even more suspect. Even more suspect.
It went out. I believe
Play
it
some
might have
more,
been some of the only golfers on the
Microsoft
course
Flight
that day. And this is the seam in that brush or bush or hedge
Fucking
line.
recreate the air show, dog.
So the course has been closed for the summer. And I'm hearing this for the first time right now, guys. So the course has been closed for the summer. And Trump made a last-minute decision to go golfing with a buddy. And they may have been the only ones on the course. No public announcements, nothing. It's publicly known that the course has been closed. Ryan Routh is there 12 hours earlier, 2 in the morning, and just waiting for Trump. And he's the only one on the golf course. Oh my God. And he's a Ukrainian recruiter, CIA asset, obviously. Holy crap, dude. It just keeps getting better and better, doesn't it? It just keeps getting better and better. And this guy's like 300 yards away from Trump. Trump's the only one golfing. The golf course is closed. Someone is leaking intel, dude. Somebody. Someone in his campaign or someone in the Secret Service detail. Somebody. Or in his friend's circle. Jeez. I have not heard this. I'm hearing this for the first time.
Grabbed a buddy of his and said, why don't we go out and have a match together? And so they went out. I believe they might have been some of the only golfers on the course that day. And this is the seam in that brush or bush or hedge line where he sought refuge, Dana.
Look at that, dude.
So we have that new video and we have a new update from David Spunt. He's at the Justice Department with more. Hi, David. Good morning.
Hi, Dana. Good morning, Bill. Good morning. Members of both sides of the aisle in Congress say apparently the update in Secret Service or the boost in Secret Service worked. President Biden, after the July 13th shooting of former President Donald Trump that almost took his life, actually killed someone named Corey Comparatori, they say that worked and it helped the Secret Service to be able to thwart what could have been a tragedy on Sunday. Let's go.
Lie, 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 lie. They did not secure the perimeter when they have a plan to secure specific points around the golf course. It's a lie, dude. It's a lie. It didn't work. They failed because the Secret Service agent, I don't think, was supposed to see the barrel of that gun sticking out of the bushes. Jeez.
Over what former President Trump currently has Secret Service-wise. It's the same protection package as the Vice President Harris and President Biden. They all receive counter-snipers, drones, counter-surveillance, protective intelligence, and counter-assault teams. The difference is Biden, as a sitting president, travels with Department of Defense communications, satellites, and, of course, the nuclear launch codes. Harris has access to those communications as well. Trump does not. Other former presidents.
That's so crazy, dude. They're talking about Kamala Harris having access to nuclear codes, and this is what you see. Da, da, da. I got access to the nuclear codes. Da. Da.
Counter-surveillance, protective intelligence, and counter-assault teams. The difference is Biden, as a sitting president, travels with Department of Defense communications, satellites, and, of course, the nuclear launch codes. Harris has access to those communications as well. Trump does not. Other former presidents do not. Here is the former president last night on Gutfeld.
The Secret Service did a great job. They saw the barrel of a gun, big gun.
Yeah.
And it came out through bushes. And how many people would see that? So, you know, he really was very exceptional to have done it. And we've been going through a lot of it. We're getting very good at it.
Meanwhile, the suspect from over the weekend, Ryan Ruth, sitting in a Florida jail cell waiting for a sentencing hearing. A criminal complaint was released, but a formal indictment is forthcoming. Sources are quiet on if he's cooperating with investigators, but Fox News is told more charges are possible in addition to the 2 federal firearm charges prosecutors brought on Monday of this week. And don't forget those multiple investigations. There are 2 going on Capitol Hill, looking at the Secret Service, picking apart what went wrong on July 13th and what the agency can do better. Those are expected to be scathing. There's also a Secret Service internal review to look at operational methods and what they can do better. That's expected to be released in the next few days, I'm told, really to finish.
Yeah, they're going to release what they want us to see. Cover themselves. Acting Secret Service Director Ronald Rose. He's on it, guys. He's going to get to the bottom of it. He's going to get to the bottom of it, guys. If you believe that, you're retarded, dude. Straight up. Straight up. Straight up. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. You know what I'm saying, dog? You know what I'm saying? What? What is this?
Eat the cat. Eat
the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating.
This just popped up in my feed. Now you guys have to watch it.
Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're
Right? But they really expose themselves because the difference between J13 and this one is so suspect. So suspect. Not a public schedule. Off the cuff decision to go golfing in the morning. The golf course has been closed all summer.
Oh.
Trump decides to go golf by himself. Nobody knows this schedule. Nobody. Only a select few. And this guy's there 12 hours
I do not
early.
feel
Not in the
it.
morning at like 6 a.m., 2 in the morning.
Shut up, cunt.
He's there, ready, knowing that Trump's the only one on that golf course. That's what's different about this one. That makes it even worse. You see what I'm saying? You start to see these things and you're like, I can't unsee that. I can't unsee that. Well, they want you to unsee it because they want you to just believe the official narrative, just like 9/11, right? Believe the NIST report. We got it all covered. We got it all covered. But pray for President Trump. I pray for his safety and his family's safety. And I pray the man's taking it serious, man. Because when I hear Matt Gaetz say, President Trump is the last person really concerned about this, I'm like, what? What? Why? Why? No, this shooter was not in a BlackRock commercial. The last one was. It was worse with this one. Because he was in this one, you want to make sure you get your facts straight, brother. The first one was in a BlackRock promotional commercial. This one was in a Ukrainian Nazi propaganda promotional advertisement, which is even worse. That's what this one is in. So the right thing to say is they're in globalist propaganda promotional advertisement videos. Right? And the next one will be too. Or you know what I think? This is what I think was supposed to happen. This is what I think. He was supposed to go undetected. He was not supposed to get caught. And he would have never been found. This next one, however this goes down, if and when it does, okay? If and when it does, it'll be unknown who it is. It'll be an unknown. They will not be named. They will not be found, right? And the investigation will just go on for the next 70 years, right? Same thing with JFK. It'll be the same thing. I think that's what this last one was. Because he was not supposed to get caught. And I really do think this next one is going to be the same thing. All the doors will be shut. All the intel will be shut off and cut off. You will never get an answer to how Trump died, who did it. I mean, there will be whistleblowers, independent reporting. I mean, that's how we're getting everything, right? Thank God for X. Thank God for Rumble. When we covered this on Sunday, chat, weren't we literally like 2 hours ahead of the mainstream media on everything, right? Like, we were just pulling in all the intel from X everywhere. We were literally like 2 hours ahead of the mainstream media. Like, we would report on it, we would confirm it, I would vet it while I'm literally I do it all here in real time. And then we report on it.
Right there.
And then we would take a look at Fox or take a look at CNN, and like 2 hours later, they're like, oh, it turns out that, like, oh, we already reported that. You see, that's what makes things hard for them right now. A lot harder than how it used to be in the past. It was really easy to pull off inside jobs, even 9/11, because there was such a lack of video technology in real time. Right now, there are cameras everywhere. And the based Karen, or the woman that Trump is praising, that saw this guy run out of the bushes, filmed him. My point exactly. You see what I'm saying? So because of free-flowing information and independent reporting journalism, show hosting, right? This is what this show is. We have the ability to access intel like that. But the reason why I say that is they've gotten sloppy, and this grand finale, this next one, I know it's coming. I just could feel it. I'm not saying thus says the Lord, anything weird like that. It's just, as I analyze this and the probability and the repetitive nature of
Like,
what
bro,
they're
where
doing,
is this place?
it only makes sense to conclude they will and have to try this again, especially with the mainstream media leaning into and doubling down on their rhetoric that they know is getting him potentially killed soon.
Do you know if this game has the whatever, like the F-122 or whatever, the stealth plane or whatever?
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, F-117.
All right, we are approaching our third hour, and we are not done yet. We got a lot of news to get to. But let me show you exactly what I mean. I'll show you an example, just to continue to reiterate what I mean by them doubling down, leaning into this, and they're going. There's no turning back. They're going. Here's an example. Susan Rice claims Trump will carry out mass expulsions of American citizens. Of course, this old hag dinosaur. Look at that. They're all going to lean into it, dude. Former Obama National Security Advisor Susan Rice has claimed that Donald Trump is planning to order mass expulsions of American citizens. In an interview on MSNBC's Morning Joe, Rice was asked about her views on Trump's plans to deport millions of illegal aliens and recent reports that Haitian migrants have been eating animals in Springfield, Ohio. I got the video right here. Let me just pull this up. I don't know if there'll be an ad on it. No.
Immigration is playing out in this. Have more now on how the issue of immigration is playing out in this election. Donald Trump is doubling down on his promise to carry out large-scale deportations of migrants if he retakes the White House. The former president stated last week he'd start the program in Springfield, Ohio, where he and his running mate J.D. Vance continue to push the lies about Haitian migrants eating pets.
Well, exactly. Unfortunately, Donald Trump, while thinking about beautiful Bagram,
the CN Tower looks so janky.
is also confused in talking about the Venezuelan immigrants in Springfield instead of the Haitians.
And in the wake of those comments,
but you get the idea.
Social media post by senior Trump advisor Stephen Miller has resurfaced from last year, highlighting the denaturalization project that began in the Trump administration, with plans to turbocharge it during a second Trump term. Joining us now, former Ambassador Susan Rice. She's former director of the Domestic Policy Council for the Biden administration, also former National Security Advisor and former UN Ambassador in the Obama administration. It is great to have you on the show this morning. We appreciate your coming on. I'd love to hear your comments on what Trump plans to do in Springfield and across the board when it comes to denaturalization processes and mass deportations.
It's like right there by the CN Tower.
Morning, Mika. Morning, Joe. It's great to be with you both.
Yeah,
this is
looks
really
like a bunch
quite
of railway tracks.
terrifying. We've heard for many, many months about his plans for mass deportations of undocumented persons here in the United States.
Okay.
That would be hugely violent and disruptive, separating families, causing millions to be expelled through the use of force. But what he's saying now is something quite different and even more scary. What he is saying is, you recall last week Donald Trump went out and said that he was going to expel the Haitians in this country, starting in Springfield, who are here in this country legally, working with authorization, and send them to Venezuela, of all places.
Oh, shit, I think it's raining.
He has said very clearly that he is going to deport immigrants who are here legally. But he said something else that's even more outrageous, and that is what is reflected in Stephen Miller's social media post, and that is that he will expel and denaturalize American citizens who were not born here. Mika and Joe, there are...
I've never heard Trump say this.
For 25 million American...
This is called disinformation. That's what this is. Disinformation, misinformation.
Citizens who were naturalized,
I guess there's going to be
who
a
are
thunderstorm.
law-abiding, who are taxpayers, who have families in this country. They are fathers, they are mothers, they are children. They are our neighbors. They are American citizens. And back in the Trump administration, they set up an office in the Justice Department to denaturalize American citizens. And not just those that were convicted of crimes. Those are already subject to denaturalization if they've done some very violent crime or obtained their citizenship unlawfully. We're talking about a massive increase in the number of people that they try to ship out of the country on false pretenses because perhaps they don't like the countries from which they came. Can you imagine what that means for the fabric of this country when American citizens who are here lawfully, who are living their lives with their families, can one day wake up and find themselves denaturalized and deported? And now that the Supreme Court has said that the President of the United States, Donald Trump, if God forbid it were to be him again, can do whatever he wants in the office of the presidency with immunity, this is a recipe for mass expulsions of American citizens.
They're leaning in. You see that? A lot of misinformation and disinformation in there.
Holy
like
fuck,
a
dude.
cocktail.
$26 for that piece of shit?
Cocktail. Yeah, Trump is going to denaturalize. Trump is going to start ripping citizenship away from people. Who has ever heard Trump say that? Has anybody heard that? We cover his rallies all the time. Trump is going to get rid of illegal aliens. But in their lies and their amplification of their hysteria, she's got to lace it all in. The Supreme Court has ruled that Trump is immune from anything. He could kill people on the White House lawn and he's immune. False. False. Totally false. It doesn't mean he's immune from criminal activity. It's on these official matters as he's functioning as the United States president. The law can't be used against him like it already is and has been. Joe Biden's in the same situation. They find classified documents in his garage. Oh, he's too old, so we can't charge him. But Trump? He's got classified docs in Mar-a-Lago. Raid Mar-a-Lago, weapons free. Raid Mar-a-Lago, weapons free. Shoot to kill any oranges you see. See, but this is why they'll bring out someone like Susan Rice. Because these people are really good at lacing all of that misinformation, disinformation with the fear-mongering and the paranoia and the hysteria, continuing to amplify Trump as a threat to our existence. Because the result, whether it's a lone wolf shooter or assassin or someone activated and sent by the deep state, it justifies when it happens in the minds of the NPCs and the low IQ that believe it. It's not so much about amplifying this record so you can rhetoric so you can get a lone wolf to try to kill Trump. No, the deep state can take care of that themselves. This is about making it justified in the minds of millions of people when they see it happen. That's what this is about. There's an example. Again, leaning into it. Leaning further into it. Because they have to. And again, Hillary Clinton, she's just on a full media run. Look at it. She was on MSNBC.
You
on
know,
Morning
I've
Joe
talked
as well.
with Kamala a few times. I obviously talked with her before the debate because he is more incoherent. He is angrier. He is lashing out all the time at everybody. He's filled with grievance and rage. Well, you know, I've talked with Kamala.
She's so salty. She sounds like an ex-wife going through like a divorce. She sounds like an ex-divorced wife that lost her divorce court case against her ex-husband.
A few times. I obviously talked with her before the debate because he is more incoherent. He is angrier. He is lashing out all the time at every.
Look at this picture, dude. Look at that. A literal retard, dude. Gosh.
Lashing out all the time at everybody. He's filled with grievance and rage. Well,
She's
you know,
literally projecting. She's describing herself because she never got over her L. She never got over being fully rejected by the American people in 2016.